I wanted to reach out to you. I talked to Coach Terrell Elmore, the CD Panthers, yesterday at practice. And man, a lot of his players, they're not there at practice because parents are keeping them home. And I wanted to reach out to you as the mayor, elected official here, and see what you have to say to members of the CD Panther family, Central District, the larger Panther community as a whole, and people that are being impacted by this gun violence here in our city.
First thing I want to say to those families is we're really sorry. This is a scary thing for those kids. I'm really glad the coach was able to connect with them. Chief Diaz in the Seattle Police Department is connected and is going to have some emphasis patrols in the area. But we're in a difficult time right now in our city. We've talked about it before, Mari. Gun violence is up way too much across the country, but here in Seattle as well. And we have seen disproportionately that gunfire in South Seattle, in the Central District, and disproportionately the victims of gunfire are African Americans.
Right. What do you feel like? Is there anything additional? I know that you said the city is doing some kind of emphasis patrols there. Is there any kind of other resources that the city has or could potentially have to? I mean, this trauma impacts our city a lot in different neighborhoods and manifests itself in different ways. Is there any recommendations that you have? I know on the community side that what they're doing is it's a call for community members, especially Black men, to show up there to Junkins Park and be present and provide a sense of safety. Is there anything else that people can be doing?
Yeah, I think there's a range of things that the city government can do and the community can do together. I announced my budget this week and I tried to balance a number of things. Is number one, to have true community safety, you do have to have community-based alternatives. But the first line of defense is a healthy and vibrant community where people are together. There's access to education, there's access to affordable housing, and good jobs and opportunity. And so a huge part of my budget is really focusing on those things, particularly in underserved communities and the African American and Black community in Seattle. They have been displaced more than any other demographic and community in Seattle. And so really focusing on trying to get everything from good quality pre-K to free college, to then on the pure community safety sides to make sure we have enough well-trained community-based police officers, and at the same time invest in alternatives to policing, particularly for mental health crisis. But beyond that, also, how do we support people who have gone through this kind of trauma? For kids, it's very traumatic and it lives with them their whole lives and reverberates in so many ways. We know that from studies, that just being around this kind of gun violence, you're more likely to be involved in gun violence yourself. And so we as a city are trying to fund, direct millions of dollars to these non-police programs. But what you've said, the call out for community, particularly Black men, to come to the park and show their presence, that's the best bulwark we have, is for community to stand up and show what it is going to demand and do, and for us, the city, then to support those efforts. Because at the end of the day, we know that if you look at this gun violence, it is just heartbreaking. And I was able, as you were there, was able to sit with some community members. I'm trying to have a meeting with some of the mothers who have lost their sons, and they're all sons in this particular case, to gun violence, and to listen to them on what they need to get through the trauma, what the communities need to get through the trauma, and how we can stop this cycle. We've had more incidents of shots fired this year than last year, and last year broke the record, but we're over 400 incidents this year in Seattle alone. And at each of those incidents, there's multiple rounds fired. Each one of those rounds, each time a shot is fired, it causes trauma. And we have over 400 incidences and thousands of rounds. We as a community have got to put a stake in the ground and say no more, and come together in ways to stop this.